Welcome back. So in this video, we're going to see how you can create a CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Action. So here in the screen, you can see, so CI/CD is nothing but CI stands for continuous integration and CD for continuous delivery. So when you are working on some feature, you finish your code and then you will just push your code to GitHub, and then there is something called GitHub Action. Based on the script that you are seeing here, it will trigger the steps that it needs to perform, for example, to build and test. So here we have a simple pipeline. In this video, we are first going to build a simple Django application. Then we write a simple route there and we test it locally. Then we are going to create a GitHub action workflow, like you can see in this script here below. And finally, we run our pipeline, and I will show you how this pipeline has been executed, what are the different steps, and how to debug the pipeline, what happens when pipeline fails, and all such thing I will explain in this video. So let's get started. So Django project. So to create a Django project, you need to install this Django dependency. So this is how you will install the Django dependency, and then you use Django admin to create the Django application. So let me create an application here, Django admin, and there's something called start project, and then you give the project name. So I'm just going to give a simple project name like my project. Once you run this application, you will see there is a sample project with some folder structure has been created with the name my project, which we have given here. So let me open it is in code editor, so it will be more convenient to work on this project. So I have this code editor open here. You can see this manage.py and a folder with the my project has been created. You have the init file and your settings, URLs, and WSGI folder file. So manage.py folder, it contains, like, this folder you will use to create your let's say application inside my project, and also you can run your server. Like you can locally run a server, and it will start an application. It will start a server for you, and it will start the application. And you can access it in a browser. Settings.py, where when you create a new application here, you need to register it here in installed app, and that's how the whole project will know that okay, these are the application that is attached to this whole project. Important thing is urls.py. So here you will have the routes defined here. So Django is a backend framework, so most of the time it is used to create backend API applications. So in this case, we create a simple backend application with one route. So we want to, our focus is to have the CI/CD setup, not to create. I will not make it like a super complicated Django application, but rather I will keep it very simple. So to run this project in Python, you should always create a virtual environment. So this is what I'm going to do here. And this is how you create a virtual environment. So, and you can give any name. So I have given this name, and you can see a virtual environment has been created. Now we have to go inside this environment. So this is how you will like activate the virtual environment. So now you can see I'm in virtual environment. We also need to change the interpreter. I will change the interpreter to Python for virtual environment. And now what we can do, we can install the dependency. By the way, advantage of having virtual environment is it will not affect your system Python installation, and it will create everything from scratch in a separated Python environment. So I will simply install Django. Once Django application is installed, what we can do, we can run this project. So to run this project, we use Python and manage. We basically make use of this file and run server. So you can see application has been started here in this port. So here you can read Like this is a default Django page, and that means installation is completed and also things, but there is no routes, there's nothing, it's just a default project setup. So next step would be let's create a route. Let me close the application again, clear it. And in order to create a route, we need to we have to create our application. The way we create is we again use Python, then again the same manage script here, and you need to give something or start app, and you can give any command. Like in this case I will just simply give my app, and you can see a my app folder has been created here with different views, test models, and etc. We are not going to use like real database. We simply create one route and we see whether our project is running or not. So that's all, just to see whether setup is completed and application is working locally. So when we create a CI/CD pipeline for this application, it will not be like, it will not fail, but rather it will be successful. So that's our goal. So to create a route here, in the views, what we can do, import Django .http. We will import response, http response, and we just simply create a home folder, a home function that will just return something called like CICD is running. That's all. We don't have to make it complicated, because our goal is to just create a simple Django application for I'll just change it to CICD. So then we have to create a, like, not here, but in the application we have to create a URLs. So I will create urls.py, and what you can do is here from Django.urls we will import path, so, and URLs pattern, add something like URL pattern, then we give path. So this will be the path, and we also import view here. So from dot import views, and we would like to access this method. So I will simply write views dot home, and we also need to give name, and name equals to, just give like home. So that's just this routing setup, and there is nothing much here. Then what we can do, we have created this my app, so we have to register here, and to register I will just go to settings.py, and here I will just write my app, and this is how you register. And also to register URLs, what we can do here, we have to add include, and we give again path would be, in our case we will keep it simple, and it will include, we have urls.py here, right, that we created urls.py. my app.urls.py here. So this whole project, like creating a route, is completed. Now let me just run this one. So we again use the same command to run, Python manage and run server. So it will start again the local server. So this is how you will write it. Well, patterns, not pattern, that was the mistake that I was making before. So you can see we have started a simple server again, and once I go here, you can see CICD is running. So this is the new route that we have created. The next step would be we push this code to GitHub, and we will see the CICD in action. we commit our project to Git. So to do that, we have to initialize Git. So one repository has been, like this repo has been initialized. Then what we can do, we can git add. By the way, let me add, not here but in the whole project page, dot git ignore, because we don't want to commit our this when folder, virtual environment folder. So I will just write git ignore here, and then we add git add. So that means everything has been added, and then I will do git commit nsm initial commit. Now all these files has been added. So if I clear the screen, now in order to add it to GitHub, we need to create a project in GitHub. So let me just do that. New, I will just create something called my project CICD, and then a simple Django application. We keep it public, everything default, because we just need to have this origin added here. So what I will do, I will git remote add origin, and then we copy the whole thing here. So now origin has been added, and in order to do the git push -u, set upstream origin, and then git master. So now our changes will be here. This whole code was empty before, but now if I refresh it, you will see all the projects are here. Okay, now there is nothing in the GitHub action. So yeah, for the next step, we are going to build a GitHub action, and we will see this, like we will have a GitHub triggered here, and we can see our project and logs and everything here. To create a GitHub action, we need to create a simple project like folder here with the command git, and so we create like GitHub, and then inside GitHub we need to create another folder called workflows, and inside workflows we can write something CICD. Yeah, you can write anything like deployment.yaml file. Okay, and now you can see we have to write this YAML file in order to create the deployment, and that is how the GitHub action will get triggered. I have installed this GitHub plugin, that's why it is giving me the error, because it recognizes that okay, it expect the values and everything. So first I will give the name, and name you can give anything. I will just give Django CI/CD pipeline, and then we would like to trigger on when we do the push, then we trigger the build. Do push on branches to master, and then we need to give something called jobs, and we have to define jobs, and the job we are going to define something called build and test, and it needs something like a runs on Ubuntu latest, and then we also need to give steps. So this is the runner that is that we have defined here. So it is nothing but a kind of Docker container with Ubuntu installed in it. So when you write some append here, we created a name. With the name you can give any name. We have given some meaningful name here. This is how it triggers the pipeline. So on what action would you like to trigger the pipeline, and also you need to mention branches here. So if our branch name is main branch name is master, so I will given master, but if it is main, you need to give main, and then that is how it will be executed. Jobs, again, we have one job, like build and test, and it is going to build our application and also going to run the test. So it follows something called steps, and steps we can have like name what we want to do here. So first thing that we would like to do, check out code, and then it needed something called uses, and I need to, yeah, and GitHub works on something called actions, and you have something called checkout action. I will explain what it is. Just let me finish the writing. So next step would be set up Python. It uses actions, set up Python b5, and then you need to install the dependencies. Give the name again, name, install dependencies. So these are the steps. So first we would like to check out the code, and then inside this container we would like to install the Python, and then again we would like to install the dependency for this Python. And the way we can do is we can use run, and then pip installed, because our application is Django, so we need first we have this Ubuntu container, and then we install Python, and then after that we installed this Django. And next step is we would like to run test steps that we have written. I will quickly walk you through one more time. First we need to give some name. It can be anything depending on our workflow. We just give a Django CICD pipeline. You can choose any name as you like. This thing is very important. How would you like to trigger this GitHub pipeline? So I would like to trigger GitHub pipeline when we push something to our master branch. And then the action, the job is currently we are defining one job. So build and test, and it runs on Ubuntu latest. So we basically we are installing one Ubuntu container. We are spinning one Ubuntu container, and there we are doing first step. We are doing the checkout of the code. So whatever code that we have it here, the whole thing will be checked out, and then we do the Python setup on the machine. Then we install the dependency. In our case, we only have a Django dependency. That's why I mentioned this Django dependency. And finally, we run the test. So you will see currently we don't have any GitHub action triggered here because we have not defined any pipeline. But after I will push my changes, you will see the whole thing will be deployed again. The GitHub action will be triggered again. So we will do like git I will add the files, and I will do the commit, git commit -m added CICD pipeline. Yeah, okay, and now I will push the changes. So the moment I push the changes here, you can see one GitHub action should get triggered. Yeah, you can see we have triggered a GitHub action, and the name is exactly same what we have given here in the name. Yeah, Django CICD pipeline. So you have Django CICD pipeline and deployment file. Now when it was running, you could have noticed that it was running with the yellow flag, and now it's green. That means this whole pipeline has been successfully completed. As a DevOps engineer, you should also be able to debug the pipeline. So these are the logs that has been generated at different steps. You remember we have written these steps like checkout code, and then set up Python. So it has installed a Python. We have not given the version, but that is okay. We have installed the dependencies, and that is how you can see Django has been installed. Then we have run the test. So it has executed the test. Right now you can see we don't have a test, so it has just completed the execution with the 0 test. You have the post setup Python and checkout, and that is how the whole workflow has been completed. So now what I will show you, I will intentionally break the pipeline. So you can write something like hello, but hello is not defined. So we should get some this error. Again, we do git add and git commit -m added, let's say bug, and then git push. Now you will see another pipeline has been triggered here, added bug, and now it is like yellow. It is running with a different yellow flag, installing the dependencies, running test, error proceed here. You can see it has given us the whole build is now red, and it also given like name hello is not defined, did you mean help? So this is the relevant logs, and that is the whole purpose of CICD. It should not just deploy, rather it should also give you some clue why it has failed in case of bug. So what we can do is, now we can, let's say we can fix this one. We can do git add and then git push. So you will see now there is another pipeline that is being triggered, fixed bug, and now it should deploy perfectly. Yeah, you can see it's green. So that is how you will work on this CICD. Understanding the pipeline is really crucial. At every stage you should be able to see the logs, and yeah, you understand the logs. There is some cases where this GitHub token permission is not there, GitHub secret is not there, and all such things. You can just check the logs here and do your investigation. Now to simulate the deployment, because we have not deployed it here, so you will just need an, or we can simply write deploying. So what we have done here, we simply introduce one more step that will deploy the application. And also let me change like build, test and deploy, because now it is also deploying. So now when we push the code, now we push the code here, git add, and then git commit -m added deployment, and do the git push. So you will see one more step has been generated here. Like if I go to GitHub Action, added deployment, and you can see now it is also deploying, and we have one more step after test, that is deploy, and it is just saying like deploying. So this is a step like this. You can run anything, any command here, and it will simply deploy what server would you like to deploy and all such things. So this is the whole process about CI/CD. Hope this video has given you some understanding why we are using CI/CD and how you can work with this one, and see you in the next video.